Site 4. Vault Records Entry Number C4N1H4Z3GGPL0X. Incident Report 01.04. Concerning the events of Tuesday the 1st of April 2021, in regards to IV subject type B, Nagi, formerly, Specimen 20.12. Level 4 or higher relevant security clearance is required to view the requested document. Please input security credentials. Identification key accepted. Welcome, researcher.
Caused by the specimen intake on November 2nd, 2020, Site 4 had been operating at capacity for the last few weeks. Apart from a minor incident, see Incident Report. Containment and subsequent efforts of specimens were proceeding without any major disturbances. It became apparent shortly after the initial IV subjects were selected that despite the high caseload, Site 4 project supervisor, Dr. Soichi, had picked up testing on former specimen 20.12 as sort of a pet project for herself. Assistant researcher reports to have learned of specimen 20.12's reuptake directly from supervisor Soichi on 2020 over a bowl of instant ramen at 2:34 p.m. in the Site 4 canteen. Specimen 20.12 had been classified as non-re and unsuitable for introduction into virtual society, considering limitations of current technology, and remained sealed within Site 4 specimen vault for reference purposes. Excerpt from Specimen Report 20.12-9. Combined vivication efforts nor direct application of purified 2D marrow show any measurable effects within the specimen. It can be assumed that contrary to the specimen's continued insistence, the consumption of food items and do not in fact serve as a form of sustenance to specimen 20.12. Specimen is not to be supplied any more light novel reading material or pokey sticks and remains limited to 1 bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch per day. Showing itself resilient to senior researcher efforts, the specimen's deterioration abides unimpeded. Preparations for transport to on-site specimen vault have been approved by Site Command. Despite researcher prior failures, Supervisor Soichi's approach, utilizing a rather unconventional blend of and a traditional media technique, began to show almost immediate promise. Initial testing showed a significant spike in specimen activity. Considering the findings contained in Specimen Report 20.12-4-7, a direct proportional relationship between activity levels and attention procured through social media seems likely. This arrangement by an unknown mechanism constitutes a suitable substitute for a stable influx of energy derived from a direct tether to universal causality, which previously sustained Specimen 20.12.
Addendum 0104. Transcript of on-site security debriefing report from April 1, 2021. Interviewee, Field Agent, Flint.
Field Agent Flint, debriefing. First off, how and why the fuck was this thing brought to Sector 4? We deal with humanoid entities here. I didn't approve this. Security sure as hell didn't approve it. So whoever smuggled it in, good job. This is all on your head. Anyways, on to the actual incident report. At approximately 1830, S.20.12, henceforth referred to as Nagi, reached containment and rode the dumbwaiter up into the larder. Seriously, this is why we work with humanoids. They can't fit into the thing. Head researcher Tsui and project supervisor Soichi were found binge-watching episodes of Moi Moi Kyun Kyun Magical, and were presumably doing so while the incident occurred instead of, watching the specimen. The tapes, which were apparently given to the research department by the snake, have been confiscated and are currently under testing for any cognito hazards before being released back into the hands of the research department. And no, I'm sorry, we were just getting to the good part. Doesn't speed up protocol, Doctor. Nagi, once in the larder, proceeded to gorge herself on a week's worth of rations of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, where it was then found by security in a state of near diabetic shock. Nagi was placed in a reinforced temporary holding, while the beavers in engineering create something a little more snake-proof. Dr. Suichi's phone is currently missing, and presumed to be in the possession of Nagi, but thanks to the security protocols in place, sensitive data leaks aren't really considered possible at this time. And honestly, it placates the specimen, so security is recommending it keeps the phone for now. The good doctor can consider that the beginning of their punishment. Worst part of all of this, though, worse than the obvious breach of protocol, worse than the hissing that travels through the damn air ducts, or the fact we have to baby a non-humanoid in Sector 4 and shit. Even worse than losing a week's worth of Cinnamon Toast Crunch is what I saw when we placed it in its new holding cell. I watched it wink at one of my guys. I'm 90% sure I'm gonna remember that through amnestics. Snakes don't even have eyelids. How the f***?
Taking the current trajectory into account, the return to a humanoid form, as described by the specimen itself in Specimen Report 20.12, is expected once the count exceeds the mark. Following Dr. Soy's success and a psychological reevaluation, Specimen 20.12 was withdrawn from Site 4 Specimen Vault and classified IV1 Type B Nagi as a part of the official IV Virtual Population Program. Temporary containment for the duration of the procedures was established following Level 7 hazardous subject procedures, which, after numerous close calls during the IV Ultra Virtual Being Re-Education Program, should finally prove insufficient on April 1st, 2021 AM, when IV0 exploited a vulnerability in the automated staff animation media watch schedule in order to gain access to the as well as the social media platforms, breaching containment.
Assuming the accuracy of information gained in the Site 4 security debriefing, containment procedures have been suspended. Further conventional containment of IV1 during the remainder of the vtube procedure is currently unfeasible.